Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Graciously Growing. And this channel is about two things that I love, growing plants and growing in the Word of God. Now today's video is going to be about Calatheas. Now, a lot of people say that these are very hard plants to grow, they're very temperamental and that they're very difficult. I would tend to agree with that. However, I do have quite a few Calatheas, and today I'm going to tell you what I've learned about keeping them happy. So Calatheas come from the Maracate family, and they're also known as prayer plants. And something interesting about them is they move, and that is the reason why a lot of people call them prayer plants. During the evening time, their leaves are moving upwards as if they're praying, and then as the day comes, their leaves go back down, and they do this every single day, and it's really beautiful to see. So Calathea's natural habitat is South America. They grow in South America jungles, and they grow under large trees. Calatheas like well-draining soil because although they like to be moist, they don't like to be wet. And so you need something in your soil to make sure that when you water them, that it can go all the way through and not keep them too soggy, or you will get root rot. As for lighting, remember where Calatheas are from. Again, they're from the South America jungles, and they grow on the floor of the jungle and underneath really large trees. So Calatheas like indirect light. Please don't give them any direct sunlight or they're not going to thrive and they may possibly die. When watering Calatheas, their soil needs to be moist but not too wet. And so it is a really delicate balance when you have Calatheas. Again, I would recommend that you use a water meter so that you will not overwater your Calatheas, or on the other hand, that you won't allow them to dry out. Calatheas do well in 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and they like humidity at 50% or above. During the growing season, you would need to fertilize your Calatheas, but make sure that you read the bottle of whatever type of fertilizer you're using and that you don't over-fertilize them. Calatheas are considered non-toxic, so they should not be a harm to your pets or your children, although I would encourage you not to allow either your pets or your children to be ingesting this plant or any plants for that matter, but they are considered to be non-toxic. As for pests, some say that they are prone to get spider mites, mealybugs, and a number of other pests. So if you're caring for Calatheas, please be mindful as you water them and care for them to watch them and make sure that they don't have any type of pest on them. Now that I've shared with you the information that I've learned about caring for Calatheas, I'm excited to show you my current collection. So the first Calathea I'm going to show you may be my favorite, but I'm going to reserve ruling on that because I have another Calathea I'm going to show you a little later that is really a close runner-up. But right now is my Calathea Peacock. And isn't she gorgeous? Look at the designs on those leaves. And what also I like about this Calathea, if you look at the back of her leaves, do you see that? She has a tinge of purple on the back of each of her leaves. And so she's just a vibrant, beautiful colored Calathea. Next is my Calathea burl, B-U-R-L-E. Now, some people will say, isn't that the same as the Calathea peacock? It is not. I'm going to actually try to pick up them both for you to see the difference. And she also has that purple coloring. A lot of the Calathea seems to have that purple coloring on their back, but this is a Calathea burl. She is different than the Calathea peacock. Let me see if I can pick them both up. So here is the Calathea peacock, and here is the Calathea burl. So although they are similar in design, they're completely different. The Calathea peacock has way bigger leaves. The Calathea burl leaves are smaller, and the Calathea peacock, if you could see her in person, she has really glossy leaves, where the Calathea burl leaves are not glossy. They're more of a I don't want to say dull, but they're just definitely not as glossy as the Calathea peacock. And so here is the difference. I thought it was really important for you to see them together. So I used to think that they were the same plant, and I actually was calling this a Calathea peacock until I went to a nursery and I saw that, oh my goodness, these are two different varieties. They're both Calatheas, but they are different. Next, I'm going to show you my Calathea rosepica. She is also a beauty. And as you can see, it is the evening time, and she's already started with her leaves going upward. So if you would see this plant tomorrow morning, her leaves would be laying more down, and you would be able to see her designs a little bit better. But for right now, I'm going to turn her a little bit this way so that you can see the beautiful coloring of her leaves. And so she is purple. On the front is like a purple, almost, I would say, black coloring of each of her leaves. And then in the back is a beautiful purple. And so she is absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, what I like about these Calatheas right now, her leaves are going up as if she's praying to God. And then by tomorrow morning, they'll be laying back down. And she does that each and every day, as most Calatheas do. But again, this is the Calathea rosepica. I think you can see her better this way. Yeah, there she goes. This is the Calathea rosepica. So this next Calathea is what I was saying earlier. I can't decide if my favorite is the peacock or this one. This is the Calathea White Fusion, and she is beautiful. Look at her leaves. She has green and white throughout her leaves. Let's see if you can see her better this way. Yeah. And she is gorgeous. And she also has like a tinge, and it may not show on camera, just a tinge of purple on the bottom of her leaves if you see her in person. When I went to the nursery, I was looking at her and I was thinking about, did I want to bring her home? And the nursery wanted to get rid of her, and it's like, we'll give you half off because we can't keep her happy. And this was a nursery. And so she did have a few yellowing leaves that I did cut off, and she seems to be okay. And so yeah, this is a Calathea White Fusion. I've also heard people say that this is a Calathea Stella, but I love the variegation on her leaves. Yeah, and she's just a beauty. So yeah, this is my Calathea White Fusion. My next Calathea is called a Calathea Sabrina. And you know, for some reason, when I look at this Calathea, I think of zebra stripes. Don't ask me why, but yeah, she's one of the newest ones in my collection. and I just love the designs of her leaves. Now, this particular Calathea doesn't have the purple backing like most of my Calatheas do, but she is a beauty. So hopefully I can keep her happy and healthy. So my next Calathea is the Calathea Orophobia. And what I like about this Calathea is she is completely different than anything else that I have in my collection. First of all, her leaves are more of a round type. Look at that. And look how big that leaf is. And look at the designs on that leaf. And so when I saw her, I said, oh yeah, I just have to have her in my collection. And when she is growing leaves, let me see if I can show you. So these are her two newest leaves right here, but they start off, they were really tiny, but they're growing by the day, and they will eventually get as big as this one. And so, yeah, she's just a different type of Calathea or Bifolia. But yeah, I love her for her, how different she is than anything else that I have in my collection. Next, I want to show you my Calathea musica. Now, this particular plant has really been going through some trials and some tribulations, unfortunately, caused by me. But, and we'll talk about that. But right now, as you can see, her leaves are raising up again as if she's praying to God. But a few things has happened that's made her hard to grow. Number one, before I brought her here into this particular room, I had her somewhere where she wasn't getting enough lighting and she got leggy. And when I say leggy, do you see how long her stems are? Well, if you saw a musica, and I will put a picture right here, like right here. So if you see a musica, you will note that they are not usually this leggy. And that happens when a plant is not getting enough lighting, and so it starts reaching for the light, and so it gets more leggy. And so that's what's happened here, which makes them not look as full, but it's okay. Long as she continues to grow, but that was my bad. I had her somewhere where she wasn't getting enough lighting. If that wasn't bad enough, we had two accidents with this plant. The first accident was I was moving the shelf that she was on, and she was falling, and I went to grab her, but I didn't grab the pot. I grabbed 2 or 3 of her leaves and accidentally ripped them out. I was very unhappy. And if that wasn't enough, a couple weeks later, I was vacuuming. You know how you use the nozzle on your vacuum cleaner to get around in the corners? Well, you guessed it. The nozzle caught one of her leaves and ripped it off. And so, yeah, like I said, she's been going through trials and tribulations, but I do like her. Now, I want to show you her leaves up close. If you could touch this plant, the texture of her leaves is like a leather. It literally feels like leather. And so when I saw her, and I did get her from a big box store, I think it was Lowe's. At first, I didn't know she was a Calathea because she doesn't, look like a Calathea to me. And then when I looked at her tag, I was like, oh, she's a Calathea musica. And when I touched her, I knew I had to have her because her leaves feel just like leather. And so, and look at the designs on her leaves. And so, yeah, this is my Calathea musica. Okay, guys, this is my last Calathea, and let me make a disclaimer. I really am struggling with this Calathea, but I am going to hang in there, and hopefully in a couple of months, she'll be looking a little better than she's looking right now. And that is my Calathea rattlesnake. Like I said, the Calatheas that were in other locations of my home weren't doing well, and she was losing a lot of leaves. Now, one good thing about her is she's not lost any leaves since I moved her into the office, and now we just have to get her to start growing leaves, because right now there are none that I can see, but there could be something going on in the underneath that I can't see yet. And so hopefully one day she'll start pushing out leaves. But look at her, the design. That's why she's called a rattlesnake Calathea, because she does have that design kind of like a rattlesnake. And also at the back of her leaves, let me turn her. And as you can see, she's lifting up her leaves as well. Is that purple. Look at that purple backing. So yeah, this is the most troublesome Calathea that I have in my collection, but I am going to continue to work with her, and hopefully in a couple months she'll be nice and full, and especially now that I moved her into this location. Okay guys, so that is my complete collection of Calatheas. Like I said, they can be problematic, and to be honest, if I did not figure out that this office was the place for them, I probably wouldn't have most of them, because they just did not do well in my home. But I would encourage you, they're very beautiful plants, to give them a try. You know, find a place in your home where they can have indirect sunlight, where the temperature is consistently, like I said, 65 to 85, where the humidity is 50% and over, and they do have little humidity meters that you can get for plants that you can put in a room, and it'll tell you what the humidity is in that room. I know some people say use a humidifier as well to raise the humidity in the room, and others say that you can sit your Calatheas on a tray of pebbles, so, and then add a little bit of water to that little tray, and sit the plant on top of it in the pot, and that actually helps with the humidity. Some say to, you know, spray their leaves, and that helps with humidity. But for me, thankfully, just having them in this room has made all of the difference. I love that they're called prayer plants. I love to see them when they lift up their leaves as if they're praying to God. God's creation is just awesome. I just love the way they're different textures, how you have some that are more like dull, like I showed you the Calathea burl here, with, you know, leaves that are just not, well, I don't want to say dull, but they're not glossy, you know. And then you have the Calathea peacock, which leaves are just so very glossy, but they're in the same family. And so yeah, I just love my Calatheas. So I hope I've given you enough information so that you can go out and give it a try. And another thing I'll say about Calatheas before I close out this video is a lot of the big box stores have them. So when people that grow plants, when we say big box stores, we're talking about like your Home Depot and your Lowe's. They usually carry Calatheas. They're not a type of plant that you would need to go to a specialized nursery to find. So I think all of my Calatheas, let me think. Well, almost all of them came from a big box store. This White Fusion, where is she? Right here. She did come from a nursery, and my Calathea Zabrina also came from a nursery, but I have seen her in one of the big box stores. And as far as pricing go, they're not too bad. I think the most expensive Calathea I have may have been maybe $24 $9.99. But you can find them way cheaper if you want a smaller type of plant. You want it as a baby, and then you can grow them. You can get them, I would say maybe $5 to $10, but they won't be the size that the ones that I have showed you today. So again, I hope that I've said is something that would encourage you to try Calatheas out. They are temperamental, they can be difficult, but they are doable. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and comment in the comment section, what was your favorite Calathea? Do you have Calatheas? Maybe you're one of those people that don't find them difficult at all to care for. If so, comment and let me know what your tips and tricks are. Maybe you're someone that say, you know what, I've tried it and I'm not trying it again. Comment in the comment section if I have given you maybe just a little bit of thought on giving one more try. But again, welcome to my channel, Graciously Growing.